Hi and hello everyone. This is Nicolas Blair and I'm going to teach you how to make a pop-up book for aetudes.com. So basically this is one of the examples I've already created for the pop-up book. There you go, this is one. And I was not too happy. I mean, that was okay, but I was not too happy with the camera moves. That, was a little bit too much and distracted from the animation of the pop-up itself. So I created this one that is supposedly a little bit more obvious for the animation, for the pop-up book animation. So let's have a look. There you go, so it's a little bit more, you can see a little bit more in detail, the opening and the closing of the book itself, and also you can go a little bit closer to some of the details of the pop-up book. So, before we get into it, I just wanted to show you one thing that I found really important when I'm working on any project is one of the most important things is basically research for reference, research for some stuff that were done previously and things like that. So basically, what I've done to start with, I've downloaded a few examples of pop-up book videos. Over the internet, on YouTube, on Vimeo, and everywhere. And I also found this one, which is probably a lot of people must have seen that already. It's a short making of for the movie Enchanted. As you can see, where they had for the Disney movie Enchanted, they had 4 transitions that used pop-up books, and that was obviously done in a 3D software, but we're going to recreate it in After Effects, but as far as I'm concerned, all the basic principles are the same. And what I find interesting with this video is that it also shows that they did a lot of research. They also built they had their own pop-up book. They built their own pop-up book so that they can understand the mechanics of pop-up books. And this is also what I did. I bought some pop-up books. In here I bought another Disney pop-up book just so that I understand how it worked. Well, this one is a little bit more complex than what I've done, but this is the idea. And I also built my own pop-up book in here. Well, this is a very basic one with very basic shapes, but I wanted to see by myself and feel how everything was coming together when you were closing and opening those pages, and how it was folding and unfolding and all that. So now that I've done this little introduction and explained you a little bit how I got there, we're going to create the pop-up book itself. Okay, now we're going to add the elements to create the book. So basically, I already have a few elements here that I've already prepared beforehand. So we've got like a paper texture here that I got from Video Copilot. Very, very basic paper texture. Another one in here, so that we're going to use that to create a cover and going to use that to create the pages. And I also in Photoshop created, cut from those 2 textures in here, cut some slices basically of the that we're going to use to create the depth of the pages and the cover. So we've got this, and this way you can create all the sides of the cube, of the sort of cubes. Well, close enough to cubes. So well, this is going to be used for the edge of the book, and we've got another one here. So the idea behind it is to create one page and to duplicate it for as many times as we want to create the whole book. So let's create the first page. So we drop the texture into the composition, and we make it 3D, and we link it to the global controls. So now what I'm going to do also is create the camera so that we can move around like this. Okay, like this we have this thing in 3D, and first what we're going to do is move the anchor point to the side. So this way, when we're going to open and close the book, it's going to rotate around the edge, the side of the page. Let me show you, like this. So that's that's the idea. Now that we have done that, we can add the side of the page. Let's make it 3D. Let's link it to the first page, and let's put it in place. So where is it? It's right there. It's the side, so that's more or less at the right place. Let's just put that 0. And let's go to left view in here, left view, and rotate it like so. Oh well, probably the other side. Okay, let's duplicate it. So let's see it with the front view. Oh no, okay, that's okay. It's at exactly the right place. Let's duplicate it, and let's move it to the other side. So to make things a little bit easier, you know the size of the layer. You know it's 1470 pixels wide, so you can type in 1470, and it goes exactly to the side, and it's perfect here and there. Okay, now let's add the other two sides of the cube, the page. Okay, let's make it 3D and link it to the first page as well. Let's move the anchor point, this one, to 0. Well, this one, the idea would be to move it to 1470 divided by 2. So this way it's exactly in the middle of the page. And let's move it up there, 0. And if we go to a left view, let's go up there and rotate the same direction. Nope, not that way either. Always get confused with those ones. Okay, and let's duplicate it. Move it down so we know that it's 1920 high. 1920. So if we move to the front view, there you go, it's at the bottom. And what we can do now is duplicate one last time the main page, link it to the first main page, and then again, if we go to a left view, let's just move it 10 pixels. Oh, now here you've got a little problem here. All those ones are linked to this one, and we want to link into this one. There you go. So now we can move it quite easily. -10. Oops, -10. There you go. Oh, good. We've got our first page. Let's do several things before we start to duplicate all those pages. First, what we're going to do is change the colors of the layer. Change the color of the layer in order to differentiate them easily. So let's go make it orange if you want, and the main page, the layer to which all the other layers are linked to, let's also change it to a different color, purple maybe, and let's make all the other layers shy. So this way, the reason why we turn on the shy option is that when we are going to have a lot of layers, a lot of pages and everything, it's going to start to be, the composition is going to start to be messy. You can't pre-compose for different reasons because of the way After Effects handle the 3D and the pre-composition, and it's going to make things really hard to manage. So basically, the only way we have to keep a composition quite clean is to activate the shy layer and turn the shy layer, hide all the shy layers in the composition. So this way, as you can see, there is only a few layers, and it's still easy to know your way around. So, well, anyway, for the moment, we still need to keep those layers this way. So we have one page. There is another thing I like to do is, but let's keep it that way for the moment. So let's first duplicate all the layers of the pages. There you go. And move to a left view. First we're going to change the for that second page, we're not going to link it to the global controls anymore, which is this one, but we're going to link it to the first page that we created, and all the other pages are going to be linked to that first page. Only the main page, if I may say so, that means that it's going to be the page on which the pop-up, the object, the pop-up object is going to sit. Basically, all the other pages are just there to make the pop-up book more real, to make the pop-up book look more realistic. But it's still, they are not as important as this one. So this is why we are linking all the other pages to this page. So okay, let's move that layer minus 10 pixels, and let's duplicate once again, and let's move once again 10 pixels, and let's do it another time, one last time, and let's move it 10 pixels as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create the color. So let's add exactly the same. We're going to create a cover exactly the same way we have created the pages. But we're just adding a different texture so that it has a more cover feel to it, more than paper feel. So let's just hide all the other layers for a moment. So we did exactly the same. We added the the paper 3 texture, and we moved the anchor point to the left. It's always easier, and let's link it to the layer number 4 here. Same deal. And now let's add the cover side, link it to the cover, and let's make it 3D. Same anchor at 0, and let's move it up there. So the size is 1480. So that's 1484 divided by 2, right place, and 0. If we go to a left view, we go up there, and we rotate once more, exactly the same way. Whoops, minus 90. Okay, and let's duplicate it, and let's move it down. So 1920. So let's down. It's at the right place. Let's add the other side of the layer. So 3D, link it to this one. Let's go to the front view. It's 3D, so it's actually at the right place. Let's move the anchor point to 0, and let's go maybe to a top view in here and move our friend like this, 90, and duplicate it and move it for 1484, which is the size of the layer. So let's duplicate this one, and let's just check that we're going to move the one that is not linked, the one that the other layers are not linked to. So they're linked to the 33, so let's move the layer number 32. Okay, and let's move it this time, not 10 pixels, but 20. There you go. Okay, and let's show all the other layers. And let's put the cover in place. So the main layer is this one. There you go. We know that it's minus 50. Whoops. Little mistake here. Let's get it back. Minus 40 maybe? Yeah, minus 40. So there you go. You have 1/2 of your book. As you can see, you had a little visual problems that After Effects has sometimes with 3D layers, but now it's working all right out. There you go. Well, so there's no way you can really avoid that. You just have to hope that it's not going to happen when you render. Well, it's just, well, After Effects doesn't handle 3D that well, so, well, yeah, you better get used to it. Okay, now we need also those layers to be shine. This one needs to be shine. This one. There you go. Okay, let's also move. Okay, maybe the main layer for the cover on top, and let's change the colors of the layers in the composition to make them easier to differentiate with the others. So the well, that's the same color. So okay, aqua, and the main one is going to be red. No, not red, we are already using it. Yellow, why not? Yellow is good. Okay, and what we can do as well is change the color of the cover to make it look more bookish. So let's go to color correction, hue and saturation, colorize. Well, in here it's not obvious because the layer is in the back. Okay, so probably better to use it on this one. There you go. Well, it seems like there's a little problem in here. Let's just isolate the cover, solo the layers, and let's go to left view. There you go. There is a problem here. This layer is not at the right place. It has to be. Oh, there you go. I know why. Because it's not linked to the right layer. There you go. And -20. So if we move back, there you go. And I think we're going to use this one as a reference. And so let's colorize the cover like this. Probably not that much. Well, that's a nice color. It's nice enough. Okay, and let's copy and paste it to all the other layers. I think this cover is still not quite at the right place. So, yes, there is a slight problem. Don't know which one. Oh, yes, there is a 0. Apparently there is a slight angle too. Yes. It's better. Still not perfect. Let's see with position. This one's not perfect, and 9. Yeah, you have to be careful about these little details. Well, right now it looks okay. Let's bring back all the other layers. Okay. Let's go to left view to make sure that everything is okay. Everything is not perfect. That's what I thought. -40. Yes. Probably moved a layer by mistake. Okay. Now the other problem is the cover is probably a little too small. Now it should be, the cover should be a little bigger than the rest. So let's just maybe 105% of the original size. There you go. It's good, and let's just make it slightly smaller here. And that's perfect. There are some problems here. All the rotations are not good. Let's just make sure. Well, you can still make some mistakes, but you have to spot them and correct them. So now that we have the first half of the book, we're just going to add just the edge of the book itself. Okay, so this already have another layer based on the layer of the cover, or the texture of the cover. So we're going to add it, and let's put it at the bottom. Oh no, even better actually. Let's put it at the top because we're going to use it quite quickly. So better have it close to the top layers because we're mainly going to work with those layers. So no need to put it down the composition. Okay, so it's a 3D layer. Let's change the color to blue, for example. Okay, let's link it to global controls, and let's rotate it 90 degrees in here. There you go. So it's right there, and let's just copy the color, the effect hue and saturation to make it green as well. Let's also make it probably 105 in order to match scale of, because we changed the scale of the cover. Okay, all good. And let's duplicate all the layers except the edge layer. Let's duplicate all the layers and let's move them up there. So they are going to be on both sides of the edge of the book. So this way you have the left part of the book and the right part of the book. Okay, and let's move. So we only have to select this layer. Let's go to a left view. Let's go to a left view and move. No, we can even do better than that. We don't have to move them. We just have to rotate them the other way. It's even better. Let's just make sure that I'm not making looks alright. Yes, so apart from the usual problems with the 3D in After Effects that we're going to fix quite easily by just moving it a few pixels. Let's move it 5 pixels this way. Need probably a little bit more. Oh, that's because I'm not selecting the right one. That's the one. Let's move it -5 pixels. And there you go. Let's go. Okay, now we have the book. It's finished. If you want to open it, you can. That's why it's cool. That's why it's so cool. You can actually open the book. Let me just go at the right place. Let's open it like this. Okay. Let's close it now. And let's go the other side because I actually want to open it the other way. There you go. So you almost have your book done. But it's not really interesting like this. You really want to have if you want to have a book, like you want to have, so this being linked to control, an expression control, and being able to easily keyframe rather than, finding the right layer and, keyframe that. You want to basically keyframe this, and it's open and close it, and deciding of the angle. So when you open a book, there is this kind of slight lag or staging of the pages. So some of the pages are more stretched than the others. And those on top look a little bit shorter than the one that are close to the cover. So this is what I don't know if I explained myself really well on this, but this is what we're going to do with this book before we move on to the pop-up. We're going to have the pages being a slight difference with the pages, so that it gives a more realistic look to that book. Okay, so to do that, we're going to play with all those things. Okay, so first I think the idea would be to link this to this. So to start with, we're going to lock that effect control panel. So like this, where even when we are selecting another layer, we still have this available. So that makes it really, really handy. So first, this is the property we want to link to this. Okay, and once again some After Effects visual problem. Can't get rid of them. Okay, I said 0. There you go. Okay, and there's something I like to do, because as you can see, if you're moving like this, you have the book that is going to open, going to do stuff that are absolutely impossible for a book, and there is no way, unfortunately, to limit. There is no options in the in those controls to limit to have a maximum value and a minimum value. So, but you can still do that by adding an expression. So we're going, just to show you again, let's get rid of that. As always, I'll click on the stopwatch, and we're going to have value. When you type in value, it's going to call basically the value of the property. And if value is over 180, then it will be, value will take the value of 180. And if value is under 0, it will be 0. Like this. If you, let me show you, it can't go any further. It open and close, and that's it. You just have to be careful that your value is still going over, well over 180. Even if it's still 180, it is way more than that. So when you go back, can take a while before you go back to under 180 or over 0. You just have to be careful with that. Okay. Now next, with the edge width. We're going to use that. What we can do now, because we don't need it start to be a little bit messy. There is already 64 layers. We can hide all the shy layers and keep just the layers that we want. Actually, we could hide all those other layers, but we're going to need them quite quickly, just for a brief moment. So we're not going to hide them. Okay, so we have like the cover side. So let's change the colors because it's doesn't stand out enough. Where brown stands out. Okay. So what are we going to do here? So we can have like the slider. Let's add an expression to the edge width slider and link to the edge of the book. And let's add dot width. Okay, so like this, you have the number of pixels wide of the layer. You can check that it's true. 120. That's the number of pixels we have. Okay. So next we're going to add a new solid. Let's call it. Let's make it 300 by 20, and let's call it split the difference. Let's make it 3D. Let's link it to global controls as always, and maybe change the color to another one, to probably a blue. There you go. Let's move the anchor point to 0. Okay. And okay, the position is 0, 0, 0. And let's just link the rotation to the page angle and divide it by 2. So when it's open, when the book is open like that, this is 90 degree. It's 180, 90 degree. Okay, and let's move it down and let's link actually the edge of the book to split the difference. Let's just make sure that it's at the right place. So I think we need to rotate that layer. Yes, we need to rotate that layer here 80, because it's where it's supposed to be when the book is open. And okay, let's just move it there. Maybe let's close the book so that you can see a little bit better. As you can see, it's not closing because there is one rotation. In here, there you go. And let's move it there. Okay, so now the good thing is, now that this is linked to split the difference, when the book opens, as you can see, split the difference is actually at the right place, at least at the right angle. All we need to know now is how far, how much to move the edge of the book, so that it's basically, when it's open like this, it's supposed to be there, and when it's open like this, the edge is supposed to be there, and when it's open like this, the edge is supposed to be there. Okay, so it's not that complicated, but that's the first use of the trigonometry that it's the first use of the trigonometry for that tutorial, and we're going to use trigonometry a lot in the next part, is with the pop-up and everything. But this is the only use of trigonometry that we're going to have in here. So I have a little text file in here with all the expressions that we're going to use in the tutorial. I'm going to put that text file on my server and provide a link with a tutorial so that you can download basically the whole thing, because it's not going to be any interesting at all to watch me typing expressions and everything, and it can be, especially with this expression here, it can be a little bit tedious to watch and a little bit tedious to type. And so the easiest way is to copy and paste from a text file, and since some of those expressions are a little bit complex and a little bit hard to explain, so I think I'll try to show you as best as possible how it works, but well, sometimes it's going to be a little bit hard to understand. So anyway, but still, for this one we are going to use this one because it's the global controls part. You've got h distance, so I copy and paste the expression, h distance, there you go, and let's copy it. So let's link the position to this, because this is the x position that we want in here. So in CS5 you have a new option where you can separate the dimensions of the position, and it's quite easy because this way you can animate independently the x position, the y position, and the z position. Okay, so let's just link the x position to this. Okay, and there you go. It's open, so it's going the wrong way, obviously, but let's just multiply by -1. So take my word for it, it works. But now, as you can see, there is another problem. The pages here, like you've got this one should be here, same as this one should be here, and all those ones should be a little bit less. You should go there, this one should be probably over here, and on and on and on, and it's quite easy to start with. Same, separate dimensions. Okay, and let's link it to the edge distance as well. There you go. And same for this one. If you don't have the CS5 and if you're still working with the previous version of After Effects, let me just show you how to do it. Takes a little bit more time, but I think I need to show it to you at least once. So what we're going to do is, what I do usually is that I pick whip this to one of the value in the position. We're only interested in the first one, like this, so we're going to pick whip the value y and z in here. Oh, there you go. And pick whip the x position, which is the position number 0 in the vector, to the edge distance. And there's a little problem. Let's just redo it really quickly. There you go. There you go, perfect. So if you open and close it, as you can see, they are really like connected. The side of the edge of the book is connected to the side of the cover, and same here and here. And now what we're going to do for those ones, so let's use the CS5 way. It's way faster. So we're going to connect it. So first I'm going to add the expression, the expression for page 1, page 2 and page 3. So page 1 is going to be the edge distance multiplied by 0.75. Page 2 is going to be the edge distance multiplied by 0.5, and page 3 is going to be the edge distance multiplied by 0.25. And what you can do now is link the x position to the page 1, which has just, yep, it's multiplied by 75, not 0.75, there you go. And let's link this one to page 2. Page 2, there you go. So I linked the first page. The first page I linked to, page 1 is the one that is the closest to the cover, and the second one, page 2, is the second closest to the cover, and the third one, same separate position. There you go. And let's do the same for the pages on the other side. Same deal. A little bit boring, but that's how it is. There you go. Page 2. And separate dimensions. And page 3. There you go. So now if you open and close the book, you have something perfect. And if you have a look at a 3D view of the book, there you go. As you can see, you have like the pages and the cover moving, as the other, those pages are usually pushed towards the exterior, the outside of the book, and this is why you have this. Okay, so this is it for the building of the book. Not that hard, eh? What I can do though is try to show you visually what that means, for the trigonometry. Okay, let's try this. So let's create a new solid, probably 500 by 500, and let's make it 3D, and let's pre-compose it. Leave all the attributes, and in this one let's create a new shape layer. Select the ellipse tool, double click on the ellipse tool, delete the solid that you had, and now you have it, because it can be quite hard to create with a shape layer, to create a shape that is basically created at the center of its layer in here. And what's good with the shape layer is that you can keyframe the size, keyframe its size, so that's really useful for what we are trying to do here. So let's copy and paste the layer in here. Let's make it 3D, and let's link it to global controls. Let's move to a bottom view. Let's make it 0, 0, 0, and let's rotate it so that it faces us. I always have a hard time to get the right one. Okay. And what we are going to do now is link the size of the ellipse to the edge distance in here. Edge distance. There you go, and multiply, and don't forget to multiply by 2, because that's you want diameter of the circle, not the ray. Let's just make the stroke a little bit smaller, probably 3 is enough. And what else can we do? Yeah, we can create a new solid. Let's create it. Well, same. Let's probably create it probably 150 by 30. Okay. Let's make it 3D, and let's, as always, link it to global control. Let's just get rid of that old pre-comp. Okay. And let's, well, actually, let's delete that. And let's just duplicate, split the difference. Because what I want is to show a triangle here, because, well, the basic, if you remember your trigonometry from school, the basic, there are 2 things that go with trigonometry. One first is the right angle triangle, and second is the circle. So I'm going to show you both so that you understand how I managed to get that distance from this point to this point. Okay. And let's just make sure that I'm moving the right one, not split the difference. Is layer 36 the one that matters? So the one that doesn't matter is the layer 35. So let's just move it there. Okay. Let's move a little bit closer. Okay. So we have oh yeah, I should not have moved the position, but the anchor point. There you go. So like this way, it stays there. So as you can see, you know, the diameter of the circle is linked to the edge distance. So there you go. And maybe even let's duplicate it once again, deactivate the rotation, and let's just put it right there. So there you go. You have a circle, right angle triangle, and what we are looking for is this. We are looking for this distance, and what we have, we know that angle, this angle, and we know this this distance, because that's half of the height. So basically what I've done, so I've used, let me show you probably from here. So I've got the width half. So I have the angle, as you can see, that's the angle, that's this angle here, but divided by 4, because this one is already divided by 2, and we just want to have this one actually is divided by 4. And we have also, so like this, and now we can have the tangent. Basically what the tangent is, I've got a drawing here, is opposite divided by adjacent. So we have, so since we have the opposite, we can get the adjacent, and the adjacent is this one. This is the side we're looking for. So that's basically it. Okay, it's a little bit tricky to remember if you have forgot about your trigonometry lessons, but that's the idea, and that works obviously because I have the right numbers. Okay, so now we're going to be able to move to building the pop-up itself.